Hello, can you see what time it is? 9:30. I just drank a whole big old smoothie with many bananas and many sugar and many oats in it. My tummy is full and I pooped. It's day number 9 of my 28-day The Best Challenge consistency goal. Every day to record and upload and express, record and upload an honest truth, an expression of truth from inside myself to the camera, to the camera, to the camera, to the camera. I just drooled all on here. So I'm gonna do that now. Why don't you subscribe to my YouTube channel? So, warm feeling. We got some exciting as hell news. When was it? On Friday. My daughter is now a dual citizen. She's a citizen of Taiwan and a citizen of Australia. So we can begin the passport application process. It's begun already. We've got the form ready. I've sent an email to the Australian embassy in Taiwan or the consular whatever place to arrange for an interview in Taipei. We have to travel on the high-speed rail to Taipei. Oh, fruity. And then we can get a passport for my daughter, and then we can go back to Australia. I'm really excited about it for many reasons. Prior to leaving Australia, I was adamant that Australia was boring and backwards, and that we were all under the control of the government, and over-regulation had meant that nobody could do anything. And that Taiwan was going to be this place where I might be able to find work growing rice or help out someone in a factory making something, because they don't do that in Australia anymore. Or like relax in rice fields, yada yada yada. I had all these expectations and imaginations of what Taiwan would be like. And Taiwan is a very lovely place. It's a beautiful, wonderful country, nation. Very proud to be Taiwanese. The Taiwanese, it's beautiful. And they do have much more manufacturing than in Australia, an enormous amount, unless I'm unaware of a huge amount of it. No, it's way more. They have factories on every street. They make everything here. Except I don't know. No, they make everything here. But Australia is very beautiful too. Everybody has lots of space in Australia. When it rains in Australia, I can find somewhere to skate. I can go to a shopping centre and skate in the car park, or yada yada yada. Here in Taiwan, everyone lives on top of each other because there are the same amount of people in Taiwan as in Australia, in a space one third the size of Tasmania. So Taiwan is less than half as big as Tasmania, but has the same amount of people as in the entire Australian continent. So there's no space for anything. No, there's plenty of space for stuff. Yeah, Australia has way more space for skateboarding, for spacing it up, you know. You can lie on the ground in Australia. There's so much rubbish here in Taiwan, and there's a culture of bury rubbish in the ground and then it'll disappear here in Taiwan. And it's changing apparently. As people get more educated, recycling becomes a more well-known thing. I was very ignorant to the progressive nature of Australia and how well we are educated, or at least me and my understanding and the people I've been around in Australia understand recycling and not throwing, just not littering in general. Here, roadways are lined with trash and gardens. Plant growing areas have trash embedded in the ground. Cigarette butts go wherever, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to going back to Australia, where the culture and the society is more accessible for me. I've just in the last couple of days had another spurt of interest in learning Chinese Mandarin and Taiwanese. I've been a bit lazy about it, but I've watched some YouTube videos by these polyglots who speak many different languages and felt so inspired. So I've been more interested again in learning Chinese and speaking and trying to educate myself to be more, to make this area more accessible to me and not being so much an observer or a guest, but assimilating myself slowly. Yes, that's true. And returning to Australia is super duper exciting to introduce the new life to the rest of my family, to her grandparents and great-grandparents, and to introduce my wife to my family, my parents and my great-grandparents, my parents and my grandparents, aunties and uncles and such, and to pursue progressive, interesting business ideas like selling bananas, getting a job in a food place, and making hyper interesting videos by talking to Australian people when they don't expect it in the street, in public. I've been thinking about this frequently lately and how I want to be more active in asking people what they think about the world, because I have an interesting perspective and can ask interesting questions, I think. But here in Taiwan, finding someone who speaks English is rare, and finding someone who speaks English to a degree to be able to answer a question that I might ask that is supposed to be thought-provoking and yes, in English, it's not going to happen, really. I could try, and it's going to take me months to get to the level of Chinese speaking to be able to ask these same kind of questions. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to receiving more inspiration today, because I'm really glad I started filming this video, because just moments before I started filming I felt like, oh, I need to have a nap. I drank this whole smoothie, and now my belly's full of banana mush, and that's good, and I like it, but I want to take a nap now. But I didn't. I decided I would just film something briefly. It's not difficult. It's getting long, and I feel like this is a bit dull, this video, but well, you can deal with it if you're watching still. I very much appreciate it. Thank you super duper duper lots, because watching these videos validates my effort in making these videos. And while I do tell myself I don't really care if people watch my videos or not, I certainly do, to a degree. My method of saying that I don't care is that this is for posterity, so I can look back in 10 years and see my progress, see how I've changed, reminisce, feel nostalgized, and show my daughter or her daughter's daughters when I'm 100 years old. I can be like, just YouTube it, and they will type me into YouTube and be like, oh wow, look, you've got an extensive catalogue of videos. Also, if you ever see me say something or do something that you think that's a bit bizarre, it's a bit full on, it's a bit strange, I probably didn't do it. I saw some technology recently on the internet about video manipulation. It's very easy these days. The programs are available to completely and utterly fabricate a video footage of somebody talking. I can't remember what it is, but if you search around you'll see it, what it's called. They can take a video and manipulate it to look like and sound like with a 10-minute sample of somebody talking. They can engineer anything to be said and move the mouth in any way and make it look like they're saying something, and then at live with like a 30-second delay from recording to broadcast, they can manipulate it in that much time and broadcast the augmented version. So I've got an extensive catalogue already of myself talking into a camera, so I have no doubt that the possibility could arise in the future that my footage, my recordings be manipulated posthumously. I keep having this one ludicrous idea that I'll be framed for some kind of terrorism activity, and then there'll be this evidence that surfaces of me basically talking about terrorism and why you should be a terrorist and planning terrorist activities. Paranoid, hey? Yeah. Not as much anymore, 'cause I don't do things that encourage paranoia. I'm clean and clear and under control. Because I had a conception that somebody put inside me, that if you want to live, then you ought to live as you want your children to live. Because if you live how you want to live, then you better be ready for your children to live the same way, because they're going to follow in your footsteps, because they're going to walk down the same path as you. Unless they choose to actively not do that, as I have done. I made the choice to be very present for my daughter's birth and for her whole life, to be with my wife, to be a family together, because my upbringing was not that way, and I want not for my spawn, my offspring, to experience that. Although that experience did make me who I am, and I am very pleased with who I am. This is a 12-minute video, and maybe if I was a different person I would have had a much more powerful 3-minute video, but them's the breaks. That's what we've got today. I'm going to stop it at 12 minutes and 46 seconds. So I've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds left. And good night. It's been fun.